You know what? Oh wait, my intro. Why hello there, cartographers and I'm not gonna say it. I may have almost said fartographers, but I'm not gonna say it. Sean Nelson here from Pen and Blade, and I've been a little bit stressed lately, so I'm just gonna do some random map drawing and world building. It's kind of fun to make it into a video, so here I am. So we'll see what happens. You know what I'm saying? We'll see. We'll see exactly what happens actually, and that's what we'll do. So I'll use the RRG to come up with some random stuff because that sounds fun. But other than that, I have no preconceived notions. This is just going to be relaxing map drawing kind of stuff and some escapism into a fantasy realm that we will create here side by side, or at least me and you're watching. So is that side by side? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. I feel like it's side by side. So let's put a little town right here because we need a town and we need to name this town. It's got a wall because it's not necessarily safe in this region. Many creatures live in the mountains. You know what I'm saying? Many creatures live in the mountains. So we'll see about, what happens. So alright, let's see what kind of creatures live around here potentially. We've got this is the city of Forest Fool. Forest Fool City, of course. Because only a fool would live in this city, right in the midst, midst of a dangerous forest, just filled to the brim with oops. You'll just have patience, my friend, because it is filled to the brim with ogres. Just flooded with ogres. Only a fool would live in such proximity to ogres, but only a fool would also be able. What is the redeeming quality of the city? Why would anyone live in Forest Fool? Because it's on the route between two very wealthy regions on this map, you see, and these regions, you can only get to them through this dangerous forest. So those who live here charge a high tax to traveling merchants who bring their wares between these two regions, and so they are very wealthy but very foolish, as we have clearly noted. And you know what, I won't write the names because I don't know, it's just not that kind of map, but I think I'll remember that that's Forest Fool City, and I will definitely remember that this wealthy castle over yonder is called, give me a second, just gonna draw the wealthy castle, and then we will generate a glorious name for it. So this castle right here, which connects to Forest Fool, and there's like a little small mountain there you gotta go around, is oh, I put the monster thing. I'll just call it Red Diamond. Well, and of course, it's red diamonds. The red diamonds here, harvested in these mountains, are quite the luxury item. And they're highly coveted. So this city is named after the castle, Red Diamond Castle, is named after, those diamonds. And you see the wealthy folk in the, let's give this like an Arabian vibe, like an Aladdin thing going on, even though it's not in the desert. But why do they have to only have this kind of structure in the desert? I don't see what that type of roofing has to do with anything to do with dry climates. And so this more Arabian city over here which is called Red Red. Wow. Is it called Red Red? Yeah, I guess so, because everything is just speckled with red diamonds. So the city of Red Red, where they just get a constant influx of red diamonds from this here castle through Forest Fool, Forest Fool, the town of Forest Fool is quite wealthy indeed. And so the neighboring towns around here, it's pretty safe once you get on this side of the mountain, so they don't necessarily need to have walls. And we can have a nice river. Let's do that. Now, I don't know why. I don't think there's any necessarily good reason why rivers tend to flow north-south and not the other way around on this planet of Earth on which we dwell. But this one flows south-north, like the Nile River. So there's definitely exceptions to the rule. And we'll have another river over here. Cool. Both these towns will put a little bridge here so they can reach Red Red. And this one too. Alright, I don't know if this is the best brush for all this, but I'm whatever. I'm enjoying myself. So I'm going to just stick with it, keep the style consistent. So what else can we have around here? Perhaps there's a certain creature that plagues these lands. And it is, of course, the lycanthrope. And the weird people plague these lands. And in fact, the ruler, the queen of Red Diamond, is a lycanthrope. And she is, in fact, a werebear. The werebear queen of Red Diamond. And she is quite ferocious. She actually is not afraid of the ogres of Forest Fool, so she often sends her children into Forest Fool in order to accompany them through this ogre-infested forest. And so this whole area is going to be a peninsula to a wider area, so we're just going to have it actually trail off, and there'll be some impassable mountains here, so we don't know what's down there. Well, not impassable, but there will be a pass, but mostly this region is more isolated, and not too many cultures in the south can afford the luxurious red diamonds of this castle. So mostly the diamonds stay in this region. And I'm wondering, what is the primary reason that the people of Red Red can afford these diamonds? Perhaps they're the greatest blacksmiths in the land. You know what I mean? So though they only have like this could be a mining town over here, and maybe there's some ore in these hills over here too. So they create some of the finest weaponry and armor and even tools, all encrusted with these beautiful red diamonds that they import. And they actually, since these mountains down here, and also this forest, which is just infested with both, let's see, what other creatures live in this southern forest. There are two types of creatures actually who live in this southern forest, which is known as forest. Really? We're gonna do that again. Or is it just called the forest? Forest? Oh, I did this wrong. Hold on. So it's not forest. It's called Silver Sword Forest, because it's just, this is where all the lycanthropes live, the wild ones who haven't been able to what's it called, fit into modern society, and only silver weapons can really, they do extra harm to the lycanthropes types, the weird people. So due to this, it's called silver sword, because only those who go in with a silver sword have any chance to survive, or so they say. You'd be foolish. You'd have to be one of the fools from Forest Fools to go in there, without a silver sword or silver weapon of some sort. Silver tipped arrows, silver spear. So where is the main silver mining district? Maybe right around here. Up here in the north. You got some silver mines, maybe Red Diamond's got some silver mines, sure. Like a small vein or two that they'll find. But the main, just call it Silver City, is up here. So let's actually make this more of a city with a couple buildings. Definitely, what's it called? Have a little wall, because the lycanthropes, if they are able to come together, there might be some druidic orders, some evil lycanthrope druidic orders down here in the what did we call that? Silver Sword Forest. Then they might team up and try to take over here, because if they were able to take this city over, then they would have a really good chance to take over the whole region, because without the silver weapons they would have an intense advantage. So Silver City up here is a pretty important point, and because Red Diamond is very wealthy and they don't want to they don't want that to happen, they've actually built a fort here. There's a fortress. Oops, how am I going to draw this fortress? It's got these these towers that you can stick some archers up there. And this fortress is the main, they're always fighting weird people. There's just constant battle between the people of this fortress and the weird people in the south. It's almost like a feud that's been going on for centuries. And the person who runs this fortress, who's a really grisly, halfling wizard. It's a really grisly, battle-worn halfling wizard who shoots his ice balls. He doesn't do fireballs, he does ice balls from his towers. And he's got this elite wizarding crew that he uses to fight the lycanthropes back. And they all have silver weapons, probably silver armor. They're just decked out, and they really take care of business. So that is their story right there. Should I put another city there? I guess we're putting a little town here for some reason. This is a more peaceful town. This is the town of Bain Piece. Okay, Bain Piece. Peace Bain? Peace Bain. And I'm not exactly sure why it's called that. It's called that because if you try to disturb the peace here, it shall destroy you. This is your bane. So some ogres have tried to come up in here, but the town is protected by elite bards. There's just this is where they play their music. These bards live here. It's a beautiful region. It's got a lake, and it's got 2 lakes. It's just beautiful up there, just scenic. It's got 3 lakes. Just scenic and gorgeous, and all the bards live there to make their music. So if ogres come, they'll put them to sleep, they'll enchant them. It's not a good place for ogres. Ogres versus bards win. You know what I'm saying? It's like rock, paper, scissors. Ogre, bard, wizard, whatever. Bards beat ogres, ogres beat wizards, wizards beat bards. Everyone knows this. Let's put a little river coming down here. And you know what? I don't like that I made these rivers all too thick over there. It makes the region seem very small. But I guess I've already committed to that. So I'm gonna go ahead. So this is a pretty low. This region is pretty, you know. It's like a what's it called? It's like a nice neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Like people know each other. You know, you say hi to your neighbor when you walk by. This whole region is kind of like that. Low population, high GDP. And so the thing I needed to add over here actually is the port city, because most of the exports of all this like superior armor, and this is where the silver armor is made. So it actually, some of the silver armor is made here in this city, but that's like low quality. Usually they actually send it across, all the way across here. It gets created, and then it goes all the way back to Silver City. So that, or actually it goes all the way back to the fortress here, where the halfling wizard and his, you know, wizarding crew fight back the lycanthropes. And so, you know, there are some basically sea routes that go to the south here, and most of them, that's the main like port city in this whole region, because this is a pretty inhospitable, you know, cliff-like rocky areas. So it's difficult to build any cities that are accessible by boat. And but then it kind of chills out once it gets right around up here, because you see there's mountains. The side of the southern side of this peninsula is more elevated than the northern side. The northern side, like, this is probably like a tectonic plate somewhere around here, right? So this side is like a little bit lower than the southern side. So it's much easier to build a port city there. And there are the ruins. So there's a small spot here where the land actually is a good spot to build a port city. They tried to do it. The people of Red Diamond actually tried to do it. But now it is all ruins, because it's the ruins of Ranger Rock Stream. So there's a pretty cool rock here that they call Ranger Rock. And the Rangers didn't like them encroaching down into this area, because this is a pristine and beautiful natural wilderness with some pretty rare flora and fauna, endangered even. So they teamed up, and this was pretty scandalous, but it was a covert operation. They teamed up with Red, you know, who supplied them with arms and intelligence, and they were able to destroy Ranger Rock Stream, the port city of Ranger Rock Stream. So now there are these abandoned docks and like crumbled cities. I feel like they got like a dragon involved that just like crushed everything to the ground. Maybe some ogres. You know, never mind. They didn't get a dragon. They got some ogres. There is a dragon in the what's it called? There's a gold dragon down here, but he's a pretty nice guy actually, in all honesty. So he really doesn't try to get too involved. And there's quite a large forest down here. So not only are there the mountains, but if you pass through the mountains, you got to go through the forest. And the dragon's chill. He doesn't really wreak havoc on the land, but he doesn't really want people to be going into this forest, because he's friends with the elves. And this is where the elves mostly dwell, you see? And I think that's pretty much it for now. Like, what's going on here? What's going on there? We might find out in a follow-up episode. But until then, peace, God bless, and stay fantastic, everyone. Oops. We'll get this.